Hi, this is Regeline Sabat, also known as Gigi. You're listening to Walk With Me podcast. My guest today is Daniel Gomez. Daniel Gomez is the founder and president of Daniel Gomez Enterprises with 2 decades of experience in the arena of leadership, development, and team building, sales training, customer service, and confidence coaching. He is the international best-selling author of You Were Born to Fly, a book written to inspire and give people the high-performance habits and confidence needed to be leaders of their own destiny. Daniel's high energy and ability to unlock the untapped potential in people have made him a highly sought-out trainer for top organizations, including the U.S. Air Force, to develop their officers. He gives organizations the success principles, leadership skills, and champions mindset to develop and build a winning team. Daniel is a true professional and easy to work with. Welcome to the podcast, Daniel.
Woo, man. I tell you what, Gigi, you got me motivated. I'm ready to just light it up here. Thank you for having me. It's an honor. I tell you, I gotta say, I love your energy. I love your background there with the hands, and I'm at the right place right now. So thank you for having me on your show. I'm honored.
You're welcome, and we're honored to have you, Daniel. Now, why don't you start off by telling us about you and where you're from?
Man, I'm from the big state of Texas. Everybody over here has a horse and a cow, and we all wear cowboy hats over here, and we talk with that Southern accent. But no, I'm just kidding, right? Everybody says, "You're from Texas, you have a horse?" I'm like, no, not everybody in Texas has a horse. Everybody thinks it. Everybody's like, you have a horse? I'm like, do I need to have a horse?
That is hilarious.
No, but I live in San Antonio, Texas. Beautiful city over here. I love it. It's not too big, not too small, and it's amazing, right? I grew up here, born and raised in San Antonio. Been with my wife now. Actually, this month's our anniversary. August is our anniversary month, so it's been good stuff. I do a lot of corporate trainings. I do a lot of just motivational keynote speeches, and I'm blessed to be an award-winning, actually back-to-back 2 years in a row, 2019 and 2020, confidence coach. So it's been a blessing. It's been amazing, to be honest with you. So that's a little bit about me, and I just love people. I love helping people, and I realize that when you love people, everything else will fall in place.
Amen. That's right. And you're doing absolutely amazing, Daniel. Now, can you tell us about your company, Daniel Gomez Enterprises?
Yeah, when my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer 3 years ago, I was running multi-million-dollar organizations, and you don't realize everything that you do. And I remember my wife got depressed on me when she got her double mastectomy, and I found myself binge watching TV for that first week because I resigned from my job. It just wasn't working out where I was working out. To me, my wife was priority. And what good did it do me to have all this money when I was making my career, my job, if my wife was depressed and not looking too good? So I just resigned, and she was pretty much on the couch, on the bed for 2 months, recovering from her double mastectomy. And I didn't do anything else but watch TV and watch TV and watch TV. And that took about 2 weeks. And I'm like, this isn't positive, right? I need to do something that's different. And I just started reading, and when I started reading, it just opened up my mind, and my mind started going 100 miles an hour. Next thing you know, it's like I find myself reading Think and Grow Rich, and that kind of helped elevate what else was the next chapter in my life. And speaking, I don't know where the heck speaking came out of, to be honest with you. I just saw this ad, and then Think and Grow Rich. I was reading that, and then I saw, do you want to be a speaker? And I'm just like, just in prayer, I felt like God says, I want you to be a motivational speaker. And my wife thought I was crazy. Everybody thought I was crazy. So, and like they say in show business, and the rest is history.
I love it. Wow, that is very powerful. Now, can you also tell us about your book, You Were Born to Fly?
Yes, You Were Born to Fly. So after my dream started, like my illusion, I think some people call it an illusion. I ended up going to get certified at John Maxwell, and they found me, I think, on Facebook through an ad, because you put speaker on your profile, and they target their audience. And I ended up, that was probably the biggest decision to get me on track, because I think I overcame fear. I think I overcame worry, and I hadn't been working for like 3 or 4 months, and to go to John Maxwell to get certified, it was like about $4,000. Which was a lot of money. It's still a lot of money, but it was even more money when you're not working. And I just remember praying to God, and I said, I felt like I had to be there. And I said, God, if this is of you, give me peace about it, because I was really anxious about just a decision. Because like I said, my wife, all this is going on while my wife is going through her double mastectomy, reconstruction, 7 major surgeries. So that's why when somebody gives me an excuse about why they can't do it, I just say hogwash, right? It's like, you don't want it bad enough. It's just a bunch of alibis. And because if you really want it, like, I didn't have an excuse. My wife was really literally dying, stage 3 cancer, double mastectomy. So whatever you give me, excuse my language, but it's a freaking excuse, right? It's bull. So when I made the decision to go to John Maxwell, my life just changed. It opened my mind and my life to a whole new arena of speakers, coaches, and trainers. And I was like, wow. And just, the rest is just, oh, I remember being there having lunch, and this one guy had just opened up his business, and he had been in business for a while, but he was an author. He was excited. He was talking about it. And I remember saying, how awesome would it be to be an author, right? Like I just thought it to myself, I think, and maybe I mentioned it to somebody there. I didn't really know a lot of people at the conference, but it was just, everybody was positive. It's like, just imagine everybody thinking like you and saying good morning and meaning it. It was pretty epic. Well, then I came home and I was like, like the idea of writing a book just kind of came, and started looking at getting a book. And granted, I had just spent $4,000 at the academy, at the John Maxwell certification. And then, like, every author I spoke to, they wanted like 7,000. Every publisher wanted 7,500. I called like 4 of them, and nothing was happening. And I almost signed with this one guy, and it was going to be like 7,000 for a book. And I'm glad I didn't, because that's when Darren Palmer came around, and he kind of helped me to get my first book going. And I almost sabotaged that. But he coached me through the whole process. And I talked to him today, as a matter of fact. I said, you know what, man, thank you for pushing me to not give up on the book, because there was a part of you when you start something you've never done, you didn't want to give up. And Darren hung in there with me. And next thing you know, You Were Born to Fly, international bestseller, was born. And I'm grateful that book has changed so many lives.
Wow. That is a very powerful message. Thank you for sharing that, Daniel. Now, what has given you the most joy and fulfillment in your life?
I think it's just the restoration of my family in this stage of my life. We all work for money and when we're young and ambitious, but I think as you go from your 20s to your 30s to your 40s, every decade of your life has a different meaning. And I think when you're in your 20s and 30s, you're ambitious, you're out there hungry, you're trying to, get the bigger house, bigger cars. And then once you taste that, it's like, well, you hit your 40s and you're still ambitious. I'm still very ambitious, but I think you learn to prioritize things differently. And for me, I think it's just really what was a pivotal point in my life was when I felt like God said, hey, are you going to be the CEO of your company, or are you going to let me be the CEO? And I really just stepped down and I said, okay, can I be the president? and just really just enjoying time with God, which gives me more happiness, and which really just, because of that, I'm more patient with my wife, with my children. And God's just restored that. These past 3 years has been phenomenal. And that, I think that brings me more joy than anything else. The business is great and it helps, but I think without God first and then my family, I don't think it would mean much to me, to be honest with you.
Wow, I love it. Now, Daniel, how did you make the decision to choose the vocation you did?
I didn't. I really didn't. I was saving up money actually to own a car dealership, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have a Chevrolet dealership. I had it on my vision board. I was doing it. And then when this happened, it's like, I didn't know, like it was just ordained by God. And what I mean by that is that I said, well, what do I want to do? Right? What can I do? And I remember running a Chevrolet dealership that I would go and give out, because I only answered to the owners, and they didn't want to be out there. Not that they didn't want to be out there, but they're like, hey, you know what? You're kind of the face of the dealership now. I had done like 3 or 4 commercials for the dealership. So I would go out and give out these awards at the high schools, and, I just speaking to 300 students and having them screaming and yelling, I'm a winner, I'm a champion. I think when I was going through that darkest part of our lives, when my wife was diagnosed with her breast cancer, just God brought that to memory. And then just seeing, even though I ran the dealership, I always loved to train. I always loved to do the sales meetings, and I did sales meetings every Monday. So it was kind of a preparation that I wasn't aware of that God had put me there. And little did I know I was a diamond in the rough. And then when it's like I needed money, I needed to make a living, I decided to open up a business. So what was I going to do? So I just put a sales workbook together, went and knocked on doors, and that's here I am. And to this day, one of my original clients, thank the Lord, I still have him here, and I do trainings there every month. But it's just when you do that and you go out there and you give of yourself and you see the lives that you're changing, you continue to learn and grow. And I think that that's what's helped me is I didn't just take what I knew, even though I knew a lot of knowledge in sales and the car business, and but there was still so much that I didn't know. And I just stayed hungry and I kept back. And I still, like to this day, I'm still learning and studying, and because there's always another level, right? There's always something new to learn. And I love helping people out. So I think sales training is my background, and that's kind of what's the foundation that's helped me get my business going to where it is today, because I still do a lot of sales training.
Wow, that is wonderful, Daniel. Thank you for sharing that. Now, was there a time in your life journey where you experienced an aha moment?
Oh yeah, just well, I guess when I went to I just talked about this today. When I went to California and I was on stage with Tom Bilyeu. You think of Tom Bilyeu as one of the top motivational keynote speakers out there. He has impact theory, and just to share the stage with him 2 years ago in California, that was like epic. And it was just like, wow, like I'm on a panel with Tom Bilyeu. I'm here sharing the stage. And the beautiful thing about it is that I did pretty good. You know, a lot of times, and I say that humbly, right? A lot of times we don't rise to the occasion. And not that I was just like, but it was just like, I feel great. I feel good. But then you easily learn that you got to learn how to receive too, right? Because sometimes when you're not used to having all that good in your life, you sabotage yourself and you don't receive everything that God has for you.
That's right. Receiving matters. Thank you for raising that awareness. Now,
Yeah.
what is your best advice to the audience for walking with purpose and living a life of happiness?
Well, I think walking a purpose is walking a life of selfless, right? You have to be selfless. I think by human nature, society teaches us to be selfish, to say, right? Everybody wants instant gratification. You think of drive-thrus, you think of McDonald's, and McDonald's had a time of, okay, we want your food out of here. We want you out of the drive-through within 5 minutes, and it's 4 minutes, and it's 3.4 minutes, and it's 3.3 minutes, and then it's like quicker and quicker. Well, we train ourselves to want instant gratification. And I think we don't take the time to really smell the roses and really enjoy it. And a good example of that in this neighborhood that we just moved to, we've been driving around and checking it out. But this past Saturday, we woke up and I said, let's just go for a walk. And to really walk and to meet some of the neighbors and just really see the houses at a slower pace and just really take everything in. I think so much, and I'm guilty of this, right? So many times we're just so eager to go, come on, go. And you miss the details of life. And I think I always think about the book, right? It's called The Present, right? Tomorrow's the future. Yesterday is the past, and today is a gift from God. That's why it's called the present. And I think when you really learn to enjoy the present day, I think life is there's so much more fulfillment in that, because you really embrace, you take time to chew your food. You take time to really just embrace what God wants to bless you, instead of worrying about, man, tomorrow and yesterday and why did this happen or what's going to happen next week. It's like, we can't control it. And the bottom line is that we're not in control. So when you really learn to just embrace the day and try to be as grateful and happy as you can, and I think it makes life a little bit easier, and it releases a lot of those anxieties that we have.
That's right. And I absolutely agree with you. God is truly in control. Now, you mentioned God and how he has a major effect in your life as well. How important is your relationship with God?
Oh, it's everything. I was, God is amazing. God is a human being. God is a person. God is a someone who wants to communicate with us. And I think sometimes religion has taught us to be too spiritual, to where it's like, it's not about religion. It's about just having a relationship. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned that has helped me with my walk with God is too many people by religion, we've been taught just to pray, and we do all the talking and we never shut up. It's always us, right? I want this, I want that. Help me with this, help me with that. But when is the last time we've really just sat down in front of his presence and just sat down and we're quiet for 40 minutes to an hour, just really listen? Because it's like me and you, I'm on your podcast right now, but if it was just me talking, it wouldn't be a conversation. If it was just you talking, it wouldn't be a conversation.
That's right.
But so many times we walk into the conversation, into the prayer with God, and we're the only ones talking. And he's like, hey, can I say something back? And, oh, I got to go, God, thank you, I'm busy. And it's like, we don't listen. And then we say, well, is God really there? Well, yeah, he's there. He's always speaking. It's just that you're not listening. So I think when I really learned how to listen, that really just elevated my relationship with him, because I became more intimate with him.
Wow. That is absolutely amazing, Daniel. And thank you so much for being a guest on Walk With Me podcast and for sharing your story and your advice and your tips. Now, how can the audience find you, Daniel?
Oh, they can find me easily. I'm the only Mexican with a big smile. Look at me. But no, they can find me at danielgomezspeaker.com. My website, once again, is danielgomezspeaker.com. And then also, if you Google me, my brand name is Daniel Gomez Inspires. So you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Pinterest. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, danielgomezinspires.com. And I have a special gift for your audience. They can go to danielgomezinspires.com, and they can actually download a free copy of my international best-selling book, You Were Born to Fly. And it's really going to help you build your confidence and develop a sense of self-leadership for your life. That was danielgomezinspires.com. And you can download your free copy of my international best-selling book, You Were Born to Fly. That's my gift to your audience.
Thank you. And I love it. Now, you have an upcoming event. Can you tell the audience more about that?
Oh, yes, man. We have the women's conference, and you're going to be there. You're going to be one of our amazing epic speakers there. It's our second annual Finding Your Inner Beauty Women's Conference. Like I mentioned before, my wife is a breast cancer survivor. So this is an event that we host through our nonprofit, the Mighty Strong Foundation. So we give back to women impacted by breast cancer, and we're able to help the community and serve, and really just, we don't realize how hard it is. When a woman goes through a double mastectomy, they lose their outer beauty, and many don't find that inner beauty. So I think right now, with the season that we're going through with COVID and this coronavirus, that a lot of women are just losing hope right now. So I think this year's event is going to be even special, because not only are we going to be able to help women with breast cancer, but this is an event for all women, right? The proceeds go to help women, but it's for all women. And I think there's going to be an amazing turnout of women that just need to know that they're loved, appreciated, and that they matter.
Wow, that is very inspiring, Daniel. Thank you for sharing that. And ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out Daniel's website at danielgomezspeaker.com. And also make sure to subscribe to Daniel's podcast, The Daniel Gomez Show. Make sure to subscribe today. And Daniel, thank you so much again for being a guest on Walk With Me podcast.
No, thank you for having me. You're such an amazing guest. And man, thank you so much. It was an honor to be here with you today.
Likewise. You have a blessed day, Daniel.
You too.
Bye.